Welcome. We're getting straight to the point today because this is an urgent briefing on the new operational reality that your institutions are facing. The data really speaks for itself, and your mandate for action is crystal clear.
So let's start with a number, 200,000. I really want you to let that sink in for a moment, because this isn't some far-off projection. It's not a maybe. This is the minimum headcount you must address across the European banking sector before the year 2030.
Now, where does this figure come from? It's directly from a Morgan Stanley analysis, looking at 35 of your largest peers. So again, this isn't some distant forecast. This is your new operational reality, and it's being driven by the relentless pace of technology and, frankly, some intense competitive pressure.
Okay, so let's dive into the core drivers that are mandating this transformation. The market forces at play are making your current operating models, well, they're making them unsustainable. Inaction is simply not a strategic option anymore.
Let's be really clear about the scale we're talking about here. The Morgan Stanley analysis looked at over 2 million employees. That prediction of a 10% workforce reduction, that isn't an isolated trend hitting just one or two banks. No, this is a massive, sector-wide structural shift.
And this right here is the primary driver. Your organizations are under intense, and I mean unrelenting pressure from investors to close that efficiency gap with your US rivals. They're setting the global benchmark, and AI is the tool that everyone has designated to bring your cost-to-income ratios back in line.
And think about this number, 30%. Many of your peers have already gone on record quoting efficiency gains of this magnitude from their investments in AI and digitalization. This is the new baseline. It's the expectation from your shareholders.
Okay, so now let's pinpoint exactly where this disruption is going to hit first and where it's going to hit hardest. See, this isn't some uniform across-the-board reduction. These cuts are going to be surgical, they're going to be targeted, and they're going to be deep in very specific areas of your banks.
The impact is going to be concentrated right in your central services divisions. You know, the back and middle office roles that really form the operational backbone of your institutions. These areas are now viewed as ground zero for automation, mostly because the work is so repetitive and data-intensive.
This table shows you exactly what that looks like on the ground. Just look at these specific high-volume tasks in compliance and risk management. We're talking transaction monitoring, preparing regulatory reports, processing these massive data sets. These are functions that machine learning algorithms can already do faster and with fewer errors than your current manual processes.
But, and this is a big but, the immediate cost savings from all this automation, well, they obscure a much, much greater strategic risk. Cutting these roles isn't just about reducing headcount, it's about hollowing out your future leadership.
We call this the sandbox problem. You see, those entry-level tasks, building the models, checking the data, drafting the reports, they aren't just line-item costs to be cut. They are the training ground, the sandbox where your next generation of senior bankers learns the fundamentals of the business and develops that critical judgment.
And listen, this isn't just our analysis. As this quote shows, your peers at JP Morgan are warning about this publicly. By eliminating this sandbox, you solve a short-term cost problem, but you create a critical, long-term leadership vulnerability.
So that brings us to the crucial point. What do you do now? And let's be clear, this is not a series of recommendations. This is your mandated 3-point action plan for survival and, frankly, for strategic success in this new AI era.
So here it is. First, you will mandate AI as an augmentation tool, not a replacement. Second, you will redesign your talent pipeline from the ground up. And third, you will drive a relentless culture of upskilling. Your leadership teams are accountable for executing this strategy, and there can be no delay.
Let's break down step one. You have to strategically reposition AI as a co-pilot, something that enhances, not replaces human judgment. Your junior staff need to become the operators who steer and verify what the AI is doing. And this isn't optional. Implementing human-in-the-loop systems is actually essential for meeting the new oversight requirements of the EU AI Act. This is going to create new higher-value roles, things like AI auditors and compliance algorithm specialists.
Step 2, you have to immediately redesign your early career programs. The goal here is to evolve junior roles from being simple task doers to becoming real problem solvers. You've got to stop training for skills that can be automated and instead focus relentlessly on what AI cannot replicate: deep critical thinking, ethical reasoning, and the ability to build client trust. Your graduate programs need to become learning labs for interpretation, not just for data entry.
And finally, step 3.
You must embed continuous learning into the very fabric of your culture. AI literacy is no longer some niche skill. It is a core competency for every single employee, from the trading floor all the way up to the boardroom. You need to implement structured mentorship to make sure that institutional wisdom, the why behind a decision, not just the what of a task, is passed down to the next generation.
So let's be absolutely clear. This transformation is not an IT project that you can just delegate. It is a strategic leadership mandate. It requires your direct, visible, and unwavering commitment. The time for deliberation is over. The time for decisive action is now. So the question is, who on your leadership team owns this?